Did you become a coach to help people, but instead of feeling fulfilled, you feel this deepening sense of futility? Let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered, what if my dream business isn't actually my dream? In this video, I'll share the exact moment that I realized I was pursuing the wrong version of the right calling, and that my true interest was never in traditional coaching. And now I'm building an entirely new impact-driven venture from the ground up. And this could be a real wake-up call for you if you're still trying to convince yourself that eventually you'll figure out the coaching and marketing model that will work for you. Because, be honest, how many months, how many years have already passed with you thinking like that? And if nothing changes, what's going to be different in 6 months or 2 years from now? And that was the moment that I stopped telling myself I'll figure it out, because I finally accepted that I wasn't going to be able to figure it out. But I'll tell you more about that in just a minute. But first, here's what nobody tells you about the traditional coaching model. Sometimes it just doesn't fit the coach. You see, I could never get excited about back-to-back one-on-one clients who kept circling around the same mindset blocks without ever making any real progress. I wanted time freedom, not a calendar full of rescheduled sessions and last-minute changes. I always felt this really intense anxiety around that constant uncertainty. And I just thought it was the nature of having a coaching business, something that I needed to deal with, something I needed to get over. And if I can get just a little bit woo for a moment, now that I think about it, it really makes sense why I never had a paying client in 20 years, doesn't it? Energetically, the traditional coaching model, it's just misaligned with who I am. And while I was aware of that, over the years, my various business coaches, they just kept saying it was a mindset issue. It was something I had to work on, something I had to shift. So I did the visualizations. I repeated the affirmations. You know, the ones, I am passionate about my work. My business brings me joy. My skills speak for themselves. I am seeing business growth every day. And yet deep down, I could almost hear my future self whispering, don't let it happen, don't let it happen, don't let it happen. And every time I recited those affirmations, I'm sure she was standing there with her fingers crossed, don't let it happen, don't let it happen, don't let it happen. Because here's the thing, my future self, the universe knows what I didn't want to admit. I didn't want that kind of a business. It's kind of like, remember the old school travel agents where you would walk into their office and you'd say, I want to go to Disney World. And they would basically ask 3 questions. When do you want to go? How long do you want to stay? And how much do you want to spend? And then 30 minutes later, you'd have plane tickets in hand, an itinerary, and one less check in your checkbook. I wanted to offer something different. I wanted to be more like a local private tour guide. Someone who works with you because they're in unfamiliar territory and they know you know how to get around. They know how they want to feel, but they don't know where they can find those experiences. So my job, if I were that local guide, it would be to offer suggestions and then let them choose. And then when they come back to me and they say, no, that really didn't work for me, I'd say, well, what about it didn't work for you? Oh, it was too noisy. Okay, try this instead. And this way, as they discover what they like and what they don't like, we get to create a unique experience for them. And hopefully the experience of working with me helps them discover more about themselves, about what they like and what they don't like. And then that information, those feelings, that will continue to travel with them when they get to their next unfamiliar destination. But that isn't how most coaching businesses are built, is it? All of my business coaches recommended creating kind of a cookie-cutter signature program. Now, yes, there was customization, but it was more like the equivalent of creating cookies and then saying, do you want to put sprinkles on them or nuts? So there I was, drowning in the pressure, the hustle culture of endlessly being on social media, paying for tools and ads that never turned into paying clients. And of course, to hit the 10K month, right? One time I was in this program, and over 6 months I spent more than $1,800 in ads to get people into a free Facebook group. And how many of those people converted to paying clients? 0. If you've ever been there feeling like you've done all of the right things and you're still not attracting the right clients or enough clients or any clients, you might not be lacking in manifestation skills. In fact, if you're like me, you may realize that your unique manifestation skills are saving you from a life and a business you don't actually want. So 2 years ago, I walked away from my clientless coaching business. I shut everything down. I finally broke the cycle. Now, bear with me for a minute as I geek out on a little bit of Star Trek: The Next Generation for a minute. It applies, I promise. There's an episode called Cause and Effect. Kelsey Grammer from Cheers and Frasier, he was a guest star on it. Here's what happened. The crew is stuck in this time loop. For 17 days, they experienced their own Groundhog Day experience. But Kelsey Grammer's ship, they'd been trapped in this space-time anomaly for 90 years. And that was me. Excited, so excited about what I could do. And then the disappointment, the discouragement, the frustration. And then it would all reset. And it was rinse and repeat for 20 years. And perhaps just like Kelsey Grammer's crew on the USS Bozeman, the longer I couldn't break the loop, the harder it became to believe that it was even possible. Every month, every year, I stayed stuck in the wrong business model. The dream felt a little bit less possible. But coaching is a part of who I am. It's as natural as breathing. I just needed to find another way to approach it. And then in July of 2024, after I had given up on my business, I blew everything up, a coach friend of mine, she made what I thought was a terrible financial decision. And in trying to help her, yes, sometimes I have rescuer syndrome, I ended up buying an online business-in-a-box system. And I have to tell you, it changed my vision of what an online business is. For the first time in a few years, my heart raced with possibilities. My eyes lit up with excitement. My spirit was delighted to find an online business that did not require me to create my own signature program in order to help people. It didn't require me to schedule discovery calls. In fact, this is a rejection-free business model. And it didn't require me to dust off my tech skills to create the automated web-based system to capture leads, to send emails, and to handle those sales transactions. This program allowed me to learn digital marketing from the ground up, with the opportunity to earn income in the process. So imagine waking up tomorrow knowing you don't have to host and keep posting in free Facebook groups, or get ghosted on discovery calls, or spend money on ads or monthly service fees. Imagine not worrying about cracking the social media marketing code and feeling like your business is simple enough to actually enjoy it. That's the shift that I didn't even know was possible until I stepped into it. So are you wondering, are you curious, how is this possible, Donna? Here's the thing, I'm using someone else's incredible course and online community as my training ground. I'm using it to develop the skills that I had been missing all of those years when I was trying to grow a coaching practice. These are real, practical social media marketing and online business skills. And because this program taught me all of the basics, all of these things that I don't have to figure out, now I spend my time and my energy doing what I really enjoy, what I feel called to do. And that means creating these long-form YouTube videos focused on guiding and mentoring introverted, quieter coaches in the ways of online business. And I teach them how it's possible to feel more comfortable stepping into the spotlight occasionally, when they want to. And I also get to finally have that purpose-driven business that allows me to focus on the impact just a little bit more than the money. Looking back, I can see that the real risk was never taking a chance on this program. The real risk was missing out on an opportunity that actually changed everything for me. And if this resonates with you, here's what I want you to remember. You don't need to settle for someone else's version of success, and you don't need to follow someone else's path to get there. There is a way to build a business and your coaching practice in a way that feels safe, doable, and even a little bit daringly fun. And if you want to see how I'm doing it, I invite you to grab my free mini guide, Master the Marketing Side of Success. It's the 6-step framework that helped me go from a clientless coach to building a venture that I genuinely love. So if you're ready to stop slugging it out with someone else's business model, maybe it's time for you to give yourself the space to develop your own. Don't wait another 6 months trying to figure it out. Grab the mini guide and take your first step today so you don't wake up in 2 years and wish that you had started doing something different sooner. Earlier, I mentioned a coach friend who I thought made a horrible financial decision, and it led me to finding this program. Now I love saying that I'm back in the impact-focused business arena. This is the one that I was always searching for. So you can check out that video here.